All right, welcome back to the Mindful Mama Talks. And my name is Chels. I am currently getting used to this wicked retainer that I now have to wear for a little bit. So if my voice sounds a little bit different, um, that is why. But I am a mom of three. I am a holistic health, mindset, and motherhood coach. And yeah, I am here to serve women and mothers specifically in all areas of that piece of life, I guess. So, introduce yourself.
And my name is Rebecca. I am also a mom of three, although mine are a little bit older than Chelsea's. And I am a horticultural therapy practitioner. So I utilize plants to empower people to bring calm to their lives. Speaking of calm, Chels, I mean, summer's about to happen. And for some of us, summers are actually crazier than the school year. There's a little less routine. So I feel like for me, things get crazier because we're kind of all over the place. And so, I mean, we've talked lots about different routines and stuff, but one we want to talk about today is meal planning so that in the crazy, in the busy, and in the impromptu trips, that there's still food in the house and we don't have to stress that.
Yeah. No, that is, I think, the key to still living with like your health goals, even though we've got lots of kids out of school or whatever our routine looks like now, there will be some kind of shift in the way we did things for the rest of the year to how we're kind of doing stuff now. So
Mm-hmm.
really reflect on kind of what that shift might look like. Your days may have different routines and you may be kind of going more places if you still have littles home with you. And then like we have a ton of tips and stuff that I'm going to be trying some new things this summer and then also stuff that has really worked with us. Why don't you start off with what has been working well for you, Rebecca?
Sure. So, you've been listening a while, you know, we've been dealing with some chronic health issues in our family and so we had to really cut back all the things we were doing and figure out what was actually important. And so we I'm on leave from my job. My husband stopped working Saturdays, so that Saturday is our home reset day. And that has been a game changer for us. The kids clean their rooms. They are a part of this. We have a family plan for the day. The yard gets mowed, the fridge gets cleaned out, the bathrooms get cleaned. And so then what we started doing is making our Saturdays our family reset day. And so we protect our Saturday mornings. We do not sign up for things. We do not try to leave the house Saturday morning. And you can do this any day of the week. For some, Sunday works better. But we have this family plan, and like the main area gets reset, the car gets reset, and the kitchen gets reset. And so we recently started paying for a PC Insiders membership. It's kind of like a Costco membership, essentially, but I get free grocery delivery included in that, and you get opportunities to gain more points. And I'm a big PC Optimum points girl myself. So I clean out the fridge on Saturdays, and then I put my order in for groceries. So I know exactly what is in my fridge, what needs to go in my fridge. And then I know that we eat ground beef twice a week. We love chicken. I love putting things on the grill. So I don't necessarily meal plan for the week so much as make sure I have what I need to feed my family for the whole week. And then our rule that we're working on is that we then don't go to the grocery store until the following week. So it forces us to be a little creative too. Like, oh, we ran out of this. What else can we do? As opposed to running to the store a couple of times a week. So it's been challenging because I struggle to plan ahead, but it's also helped me to be really mindful of like the money I'm spending and the food that I'm wasting. Because if I'm consistently every Saturday morning going through my fridge and throwing things out, then that makes me think twice about buying it again too, right? So that's been a big game changer for us.
Mm-hmm. No, I love that. Like setting up your week so that
Mm-hmm.
you know exactly what you're eating, and all this stuff. Like we did kind of a meal plan on a whiteboard for a little while, more so when it was like more stressful moments of having a baby or things, and then little pieces of that just kind of fall away. And I love it for that kind of time frame. If I had help
Mhm.
coming in, all of that stuff, I would have a whiteboard of like snacks, meal prep, whatever they needed to do was on the board.
Oh,
So
nice.
now that things have kind of shifted, we don't have a tiny baby, I'm taking on some more of that stuff now. But for me, I really like to have fruits washed. So as soon as I buy them, I bring them home, wash them, have them in some kind of like I've went through multiple containers that kind of help keep them the freshest in the fridge for the longest, but they're all washed, they're all ready. Same with our veggies. Like even apples on our table, everything is washed so my kids know exactly where they can go to get a snack if they're hungry instead of going to the cupboard to look for like yes, we do have lots of bars and other stuff like that, but I would much rather them eat a banana, an apple, an orange, whatever,
Mhm.
right off the table. So everything is prepped and ready for them. And then berries and all that stuff is ready as well. And then the piece that I want to add into and kind of get better with is like chopping up all of our vegetables for the week. Like we love raw
Mhm.
veggies. We'll either make our own kind of veggie dip or a hummus or something like that, and then it's ready to go if I'm hungry, because I'm not a like, for me, prepare my lunch when I work from home kind of person. Like I'm good with the kids and my husband just kind of does his own thing, takes leftovers. um but having raw veggies or like protein balls or energy balls or something prepared in the fridge freezer like is a game changer for me, because I
Mhm.
know it aligns with all my health goals. It's something quick and easy to grab. I know it's still nutritious and giving me all the things my body needs. So those are kind of our staples, I guess. And then as for our meals, I will kind of go through like spurts of like preparing breakfast items ahead of time. We do lots of like overnight oats and different variations where I sub in oats just depending on how I feel about oats one week and other weeks. We love like chia pudding, any of that kind of stuff, and that is something that's quick and easy for the kids to grab because they know exactly what that entails for their breakfast. And then lots of lunches consist of leftovers from the night before, supper, stuff like that. And then suppers are kind of just, okay, what veggie do we have to use up if it wasn't previously chopped? And if it was, like, how can we steam it, cook it, add it to a recipe? Lots of stuff just kind of comes from out of my head of like, okay, this broccoli is not looking so hot. What can we do with it? And then, yes, we love
Mhm.
to add in eating like really good quality beef or chicken, even turkey. We've been kind of adding back in. So just kind of figuring out us is the kind of similar thing. We don't grill as much in the winter. We'll do more like kind of inside meals or what can we put in the oven or cook on the stove, and then just kind of go from there. But if this is like not like common thing for you, then honestly, it kind of started with me just finding really good recipes that I liked, my family liked, and then just kind of put those on rotation. And I've heard a few
Mhm.
moms that will like meal planning just can't even be entertained in their mind. And there was a time where that was not something I could think about either. So it was like Mondays are spaghetti, Tuesdays are tacos, Wednesdays are whatever, and then maybe we have a day of like leftovers for supper and just kind of eating up what needs to not go to the compost. And then Fridays are maybe we order takeout or something, and then figuring
Mhm.
out kind of your favorites for Saturday and Sunday. So find what's going to work for you. If you're just like not in the mental space to be like, I want to prepare something different each day of the week, or you're like, I need to just have this day is this. I know exactly what it is. We don't have to put much thought and effort into it. Figure out kind of like where you're at with all of the other responsibilities and things you're taking on in the rest of your life. And then kind of go from there. And I chatted with Rebecca. We are going to kind of comprise some of maybe our favorite recipes and different things that really work for us. And I will put everything down in the show notes. All,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, my favorite like energy ball or protein ball recipes. Just some really good healthy snacks. If I like, I feel if my snacks are good and prepared ahead of time, like I said, I like to make big batches and then put them in the freezer. I'll make these like they're called gypsy cookies. They've got lots of good stuff in them. So those will, I'll be able to pull those out of the freezer whenever. And then lots of muffins and that kind of thing that can be kind of kept and stored for a week that you're like, I don't have time to prepare stuff. And then it's just amazing. You
Mm-hmm.
pull it out of your freezer. So
Well,
yeah.
one of the things that I love about that is like when something I do is I bulk things. So I am on my sourdough journey. I'm like figuring out how to make sourdough bread. It has been we've eaten a lot of rock hard bread as I learn, but that's a once a week thing. So Wednesday morning, I know I am not volunteering at my kid's school. Like I have a couple of days throughout the week that I very much protect, or certain times that I very much protect because I know I need those to do what my family needs. And so we have a lot of allergies and kind of food restrictions in our family. And so I know I need Saturday morning to reset the kitchen and I need Wednesday morning to food prep. And so I have an instant pot. That's been a game changer for me. So what I love to do is I do enough rice in there so that my husband and I can have rice and a protein and a veggie for every lunch in the week. And we don't need to have different food all the time. Some people don't like eating the same thing 2 days in a row. I have an uncle that just will refuse. um, so that's a big one for me. And so Wednesday mornings are I make my sourdough loaf. I make yogurt because I got this yogurt maker off of Facebook Marketplace for $10, and I did not realize how easy it was to make my own yogurt. My kids are fiends. They love yogurt, and I throw it in like their smoothies, and it's just plain yogurt. So sourdough bread, yogurt, and then something in the instant pot. So I like to have a carb, a protein, and a veggie. I mean, sometimes veggies are carbs, but so if I can do enough rice in the instant pot to cover that, then tomorrow when I'm grilling, I'll throw some extra stuff on there. And then I have all these lunches. So I got like Costco containers, like food prep containers kind of. And then by taking that like extra hour or two once a week, I don't have to think about lunches for the whole week, right? So that's been a big one for me is what can I do in bulk that I can then use the rest of the week, whether that's baking something or making the power bars or the power balls or um yeah, because like we cook every day, right? We're in our kitchen every day if you're the person in your family that does that. So I'm always trying to I'm already doing the work and I'm already making the dishes. So let's just double the recipe right away so that then that frees up brain space for another day later on in the week.
Mhm. Yeah, no, that is like, I think the most helpful information that can be. Like, if you're already messing up your kitchen, making like 12 muffins, why not double it and make 24? Your kitchen's already,
Mm-hmm.
you already have to like throw some stuff in the dishwasher, wipe that, like, you already have to do it all. So just make extra. And same with kind of any recipe that can be doubled or even tripled, right? Like make a little bit extra, like okay, if it's cookies it takes a little bit of extra time, that kind of thing, but find recipes that you really like I said, we will link up some of our favorites and then just kind of like go off of those and maybe explore some new things that you
Hmm.
you love too. But
Well, and
yeah,
if you look at like our oh, it used to be a triangle, like the food pyramid. And if you can kind of have those things, so you have your protein source readily available, you need like a healthy fat, you need a carbohydrate. I'm probably way outdated on what they're recommending now. But then it's also if you can have a few of those things and you know, okay, I have everything I need and I can make a combination of this in many ways. Like we're big on potatoes and rice. Those are kind of our two, and now recently bread. And so if I have that, okay, now I need a protein. Well, I've got beans or I've got chicken, right? So if you have kind of the puzzle pieces and then you can put them together, I just find that that makes it a lot less stressful when I'm going, okay, what do I make for supper? I open the fridge. I know I have a carb. I know I have a protein. I know I have a fruit or a veggie. And that just seems to for me and where I'm at, that just seems to make the most sense. I love charts. I love planners. I love all of those things. But I have found it's more helpful for me to just have like the building blocks of things and then I can run with it as opposed to having a solid like here's what we're eating each day of the week. Let's just make sure I have enough food in the house to get us through the week and here are the building blocks of a healthy meal and then we'll see what comes.
yeah, yeah. No, build the foundation. I love that you said that because we kind of touch on this in a lot of different episodes that we've done already. It's like once you
Mm-hmm.
have the foundation of like, okay, these are the kind of meals we like to eat, then have pieces of it prepared so you're not recreating an entire meal every time. Because I don't know about
Mm-hmm.
you, but as a mom of three, that gets very overwhelming and exhausting when it's like this intricate recipe that you're making every single night. Like
Yeah.
I am in a healthy mind space, I would say, and I don't have the energy at the end of the day to do that. So do what works for you. I know a tip that my sister-in-law loves to do is more so for like budget, keeping costs down and all of that stuff. She has her staples of kind of like things they eat in rotation throughout the week, but she always makes sure she takes a little bit of time to kind of just like, hey, Monday we're having this, Tuesday we're having this, and then she prepares. I think she does her grocery shopping Saturday or Sunday, and then she gets all the food that they need, and then you're basically only buying groceries for the food you need within obviously a little bit of wiggle room, but
Mm-hmm.
then you're making sure that you don't buy extra veggies and you don't have a meal for them. And then they go in the compost. So
Yep.
there's
Yeah.
nothing,
Well, and
nothing
that's where
more
I,
frustrating.
yeah, because you're like literally throwing out money, right? Like,
Yeah.
that's where I have found. I mean, I'm not anti-technology. So if you're gonna be like, Rebecca, how can you do this? No, I'm not. I mean, we need to manage technology well, but I love being able to place an online order because then I know I'm not being swayed by hunger and by what looks good in the store. And I know what amount we can afford to spend every week. And so when I get to the checkout at my computer, if it's over that amount, well, what am I going to take off? Right. So it's just helped me also to be more aware of money we're spending and make I'm making that decision not under pressure, right? If I'm at the checkout at the store and I'm like, oh my goodness, this is over what I was supposed to spend, and then trying to figure out what to put back and stuff. So the online thing has been hugely helpful for me with that. It helps us stick to our budget a little bit more and just helps me make sure that I have everything because I'm looking over it. And then it also remembers what you bought last time. So I have like things that I buy every week, like bananas and goat's milk and a few things. So that's automatically already there. So I didn't think I would ever be like, hey, watch technology, but buy your groceries online. But it's been a really helpful tool for me.
No, and it cuts down on like if you don't physically have the time to go to the grocery store, yes, okay, you're investing a little bit of time to put your order into the computer, but it's the same thing. Like I've done it before where we use like an organic box delivery and same idea, like it gets delivered to our house. And over the, like a week, I could be still adding stuff up until like a certain time and day before the order is to like set to process. So it's maybe faster a little bit than like actually going to the grocery store, unless you're really familiar and you can go in and out of your grocery store. But usually I try new things or they've moved something. So then I'm like walking around trying to find it. And yeah, if you're looking for something, you can search for the item online as well and it will find it for you.
Mhm.
But yeah, those are kind of like our main tips. And there's obviously going to be like
Mhm.
ebbs and flows in life as maybe we don't do online grocery shopping. But for for me, it's always listen to your intuition. If something feels right, and especially when it comes to eating specific foods, if your body is like doing well on these foods and you like them in your diet and your kids like them, then just kind of keep doing what works. Add in maybe a little bit
Yes.
like when it kind of needs to be switched up, but then always come
Mhm.
back and listen to your body because your body's going to tell you if those foods are working really well for you or if they're not. And that is kind of a key that we always do. It's like, okay, one week we did have spaghetti because our middle loves spaghetti and that's all he asks for. But the spaghetti sauce and just the high acidity of the tomato sauce didn't sit well with me. So maybe I just will have a smaller portion next time or like whatever. So making kind of the adjustments within yourself, your own health, what your kids are eating one week and then next week they might not like it. So really work with yourself, your family, talk to your spouse if they care at all what the meals are. Usually, kind of like my husband and I will be chatting throughout the day. And if we don't already have a plan, we kind of just go back and forth of like, what do you feel like for supper? Oh, we have this to use. Okay, great. And then it's not a chaotic moment when it comes time to
Mhm.
do supper. And our kids are in soccer this year. So on the days they have soccer, we want to kind of plan some easier meals. So again, it's not like eat and then rush to get them to the soccer field. So yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, well, and I think just like so much of what we talk about is all encompassing, right? So we're talking about meal planning. But meal planning can help lower your stress levels. It can help. We are in a tough time in this economy for a lot of people. So meal planning and planning ahead is going to help you save money, right? I know a lot of people are stressed about money right now, and there's a whole other conversation with that you and I can have about mindset around money and stuff. But um, I was finding when I didn't do the groceries and didn't make sure I had all the food in the house, then we're doing takeout 2 or 3 nights a week, right? So then and I am a big fan of takeout on when mama's stressed and you just can't anymore, grab some takeout. Zero guilt there. But um, I think that when you plan ahead, you also save money, and that's a big one in this time in this economy. And you can read flyers if you want. I mean, I look at what gives more points this week, and that helps me decide. But again, it's that mindfulness and putting that time aside, right? And we talk about that with like everything. What kind of parent do you want to be? What kind of food do you want to eat? And it maybe seems a little bit overwhelming to go, oh my goodness, I got to start a meal plan. But I'm telling you, putting 1 hour a week aside is going to save you hours and hours and hours throughout the whole week. And we talk about this with so many things. And I think, again, we're the Mindful Mama Talks podcast, right? And so, in all these areas where you are the one that's in charge of something, just take that minute, take that hour actually, to instead of just going through and doing it, actually think about what you want it to look like and how can I make this less stressful for myself. And that's going to be different for you. It's going to be different for me. My mom and I butt heads often because our systems are so different, but they work for us, right? And so we put zero guilt and shame out to you, mamas. Whatever you're doing the best that you can. And we want to help you succeed. And so if you can take 15 minutes, 20 minutes, half an hour to just look at your week and go, okay, these are the nights I have sports, and just look at your schedule and go, okay, what do I need to feed my family those days? And I know it seems super overwhelming, but I have found by taking that 15 minutes or that hour, it shifts the stress level of my entire week.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah, no, for sure. And especially if you're a mama like in that kind of survival mode right now and you can't
Mm-hmm.
even fathom planning tonight rather like other than planning out your week or a month or whatever. But like something has to shift, right? Like
Yeah.
so for you to kind of slowly pull yourself out of that mode, mindset is obviously a big piece of it. So if you're constantly in the mindset and the frame of mind saying, but I can't do that, I'm in survival mode, then like shifting up your thought process in all of that and finding what is going to work for you right now. Maybe it's that you
Mhm.
just plan a little bit or maybe a couple snacks so that, hey, I know we actually have some good nutrition kind of in between our meals and finding what will work there. And then you slowly get to the point where you're like, okay, I can now look at an entire week and plan ahead.
Mhm.
And even just simple little like, okay, this is a an errand run day. How can we plan ahead so that we are saving some money by not eating out, giving our kids and ourselves better nutrition because it all starts with our mind. If we're not feeding ourselves very good food, we're not going to be able to kind of pull ourselves out of that frame of mind or mindset of everything feeling overwhelming. So
Mhm.
packing like again, like we do, we chop the veggies and all of that stuff, like grabbing little handfuls of veggies and we know we I can pass that back into the back seat to the kids
Yep.
like
Just chuck
when
it. Just
we're
chuck it.
yeah. Yeah. Yeah,
So
now
much for if they're hungry.
my oldest is like in the very back and I can't reach him, so it's usually just like throw stuff at him. But like just start with the little things and then the big meals and then the things that like it will all come. And
Yeah,
then
and
you
what is
that.
your pain point, right? I don't know if we've talked about pain points before, Chelsea, but a pain point for me is that when I pick my kids up from school and they go to a fabulous school, they are tired and they're hungry. And so I get grouchy kids. And so I have started packing those little fruit gummies and they each get a bag when they get in the car because they have enough time to eat that to get them to home, and then we can skip the meltdowns and the hanger and all of these things, right? So like what is your pain point? What is one day of the week or one area that you're like frustrated with around food? And then and then like that was such a small thing for me to do. I'm already buying prepackaged snacks. So all I had to do when I realized that they're grumpy because they're hungry was shift it from this goes in the snack cupboard to this goes in the car console, right? And it could be something as simple as that. Where is the pain point? And let's make a small change. And for me, it's made car rides more enjoyable and my kids more ready to put their stuff away and like have a conversation and do their chores after school and then go play. And it was just a tiny little thing that I noticed.
Hmm. Yeah, and that's honestly where the big shifts happen is from the little like awareness that like, okay, my kids are hungry right when I pick them up from school. And this is something I know you do as well, Rebecca, or did at one point, was kind of prepare because like summer, everyone's home now. You're having to feel like, okay, we're not packing an actual lunchbox, but we're still making food throughout the day and whatever. With if kids are home, or maybe they're going to places. But anyways, is like the snack kind of charcuterie board. Like that is kind
Yes.
of my favorite type of kind of lunch. They can just kind of pick it like I am very much a snacker and I just kind of pick away at things rather than having these like big kind of laid out meals. So that was kind of a big game changer for us when we integrated that like cut up. We get a really good quality salami, cheese, crackers, veggies, fruit, whatever we want to kind of just like put together on a tray and then it's there and the kids can eat whatever they're feeling, whatever they're hungry for, and then we can cut up more if they're still hungry or whatever. So that was
Mhm.
kind of a big game changer when it came to like summertime and lunches and and it wasn't as stressful if we were going to the park one day to then pack this or pack it the night before. I have this container with all the like divided little compartments. I think it's Pampered Chef, but it has freezer packs that go in the bottom, and then
Ooh,
it's got a
nice.
lid and it like snaps together. Anyways, that is kind of my favorite tray for summer because it will keep everything
Mhm.
cold, keep crackers on the sides that don't go soggy and all that stuff. But that is something I could prepare, and then we know, okay, we're going to the park around 10. Chances are we're going to be there. They're going to get hungry. It's going to be close to lunchtime. And then this is something we know that it's good, like quality food, healthy, lots of options for anyone who is picky in the family.
Mhm.
And yeah, so that has been huge for us.
And having those systems, right? My kids are a little older than yours, so my older two can read, and so in the summertime, I write out a list of what is for breakfast, but it's all stuff they can make themselves. So one is a yogurt parfait, one is toast, one is um, a smoothie, right? So as you get older too, we're equipping our kids to then do those things themselves. We have a snack cupboard that my kids can access at any time, and it's full of stuff I'm comfortable with them eating, right? So, but again, it's that small thing. My kids are constantly asking me for food. Well, let's get the food that they can eat in a place they can reach it, and then they can help themselves, right? I think for myself, a lot of my overwhelm with being a mom ends up being because I am doing too much for them. And so when we can have the forethought, take the 15 minutes to put stuff in the snack cupboard or in a place that they can reach, that they can have at any time, then it's not, Mom, I'm hungry several times a day, because if they're hungry, they'll just go get food.
Yeah. 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 No, we have that set up in our kitchen as well. And like set low enough that our youngest could even reach something. And what I did try, because this was kind of coming more from like the Montessori type like parents that I was following, was lay out, if you had one child, two children, whatever, you would lay out the amount of snacks you were comfortable with them having in one day. And when the bin is gone, or if you need two bins, whatever, then that means it's mealtime, like to have
Okay.
snacks throughout the day. What I was finding with that though is that it was hard to remember to refill the bin. So the next day I've got my middle scaling the cupboard to try and reach the snacks that are up really high. And I'm like, okay, now I need to change up this type of routine. And then it's like, okay, I don't want a free for all bin because my kids will just eat snack after snack after snack. But I have kind of like figured out what will work for them, make sure the fruit is very accessible so that they kind of go there first before, and then kind of like a love hate relationship with the snacks, right? They're so high in sugar depending on what you buy, and even if they're good quality, so lots of stuff to keep in the fridge, like I said, is another big one for us. But then figure out that snack bin. Maybe put different options in there that may appeal to them one day and maybe not the other day, but kind of find what works for you, your kids within your home, the way that your kitchen is laid out, like find what works for you. And honestly, it just comes down to some trial and error of like I said, that per day snack bin did not work for me, so I had to kind of change it up. And I, obviously as your kids grow, things change and shift, and maybe they become hungrier as they're growing. So yeah, just find what works. If meal planning feels right, definitely do it, try it out. If it doesn't feel right, then kind of have that rotation of like, each day has a specific meal or food, and kind of work within your limits or boundaries of what you're currently going through or experiencing. Yeah.
I feel like we have like so much we could talk about. We have learned a lot by trial and error, you and I, but we should probably wrap this up. Um,
Yeah.
Please let us know if any of these tips have helped you, or if you would like any of the resources that we maybe haven't put in the show notes. But this is, I mean, a lot of us are the default parent, right? And we're the default feeder and all of those things. And so when we can take a step back, and look at what it is and what we want it to be, that changes everything.
Yeah. Yeah, no, big time, right? And like you said, making those simple little shifts can make the world of a difference. By not
Mm-hmm.
having a grumpy child right before supper or a hungry child right as you're preparing supper can be a game changer, right?
Yep,
So, yeah,
absolutely.
we will tie it all together in the show notes. You can find some good recipes and leave us a question or any kind of stuff in there if we didn't explain something well enough for your specific situation. I'd love to go kind of deeper on this and see where we can offer you some more support and help.
Awesome. See you next week, ladies.
Bye.